One last thing I did want to talk about, though, and that's the endless question about whether you should go wide or go exclusive. Basically, the finding is that Amazon, of course, is going to be where you sell most of your books, but you don't necessarily need to be Amazon exclusive in order to do well. And in fact, that's not what's proven to be true for most of the highest earning authors. In truth, looking at these numbers, it appears to be about an even split. Some people going KDP Select on some or all of their titles, and some not, which is about what you might expect since there's a lot of confusion and uncertainty and people haven't decided really whether it's best to go wide versus exclusive. And so what you're seeing here is that uncertainty. Sort of makes sense that an emerging author might decide to just be KDP exclusive, but as you expand your list, you might want to go in different directions. As I've said on previous podcasts, I prefer to go wide, not necessarily because I think that'll turn into more money, but just I like to see my books on sale everywhere. I like people to be able to find my stuff wherever it is they're shopping. So that's my personal choice, but might not be everybody else's. Same thing with regard to price. This survey that I'm talking about says that for the most successful writers, you find them managing their prices of the books, the average being between $3.99 and $5.99, but some, of course, making them cheaper, at least in some cases, or as loss leaders or first books in the series, and some even give books away. But the main takeaway, I think, here is no more than $5.99, not too expensive, which, of course, is what you see the traditional publishers doing right now, publishing their ebooks at ridiculously high prices, in some cases higher than the cost of the hardcover, and then reporting to the press that ebooks are dying. Well, no, only in your shop, buddy. Overall, ebooks are not dying, but clearly the market is going towards books that are more affordable. So, Red Sneaker writers, you probably already know the summary that's coming so well you could do it for me. Yes, keep your prices reasonable. Yes, hire professional editors to make sure your work is of high quality. But the first and foremost, most important thing you need to do is commit to your writing. Commit to a regular writing schedule, as many hours a day as you can put into it, and keep to that schedule. Keep writing, keep working, and keep doing the best quality work you can do. There's been a lot of talk on this podcast, and for that matter, previous ones, about Amazon and how Amazon is dominating the book market, which I suspect is not really a news flash to any of you. But they are not the only game in town, and they are certainly not the only way for self-published authors to distribute their work. And that's why I asked Tara Cremin, who is the author experience manager at Kobo Writing Life, to come onto this program and talk about all that Kobo has to offer other authors in self-publishing, not only the United States, but particularly looking toward the global market. This is what she had to say. Tara, thanks for being on the podcast.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
All right, my standard first question. If you had one piece of advice you could offer somebody who aspires to write, what would it be?
I think maybe this isn't the most helpful thing, but the piece of advice that I think is really valuable to writers is to always keep writing. That we find with people that are starting out, you can get sometimes bogged down in especially with indie publishing, trying to figure out what the trends are or how to market your work. But really, you should be definitely focusing on your craft at the beginning and keeping writing. And it's always easier to market yourself when you've got lots of books. So yeah, I guess that would be my advice, to just keep writing.
Well, I think that's good advice. I was afraid when you said this wasn't going to be very helpful, you were going to tell people to quit or something. Give it up.
Yeah, never quit. Keep going.
So you're at Kobo. Rakuten Kobo, am I saying that halfway correctly?
Yeah, Rakuten, yeah. That's Rakuten. Our parent company.
Right. And you're the author experience manager. correct?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
that sounds so cool, but what does that mean?
Yeah, it sounds very all-encompassing. So I'm the author experience manager for Kobo Writing Life, which is Kobo's self-publishing platform. So basically, in a nutshell, my role is to try and make this the best self-publishing platform out there. So I kind of take a lot of direct feedback from authors, going to different conferences and, spreading the Kobo word.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also dive into looking into analytics to see how, what are the pain points that we're currently doing. What are authors really wanting, and how can we make the site better?
Well, the Writing Life program is what I wanted to talk about because I'm not sure everybody knows about it that should. They're aware that, if you don't mind mentioning, there's this rival self-publishing platform that this weird company called Amazon has, but I'm not sure that people realized Kobo is not just an e-reader. Can you talk about the Writing Life program? What is it?
Yeah. Of course. So Kobo Writing Life was launched back in 2012 when we kind of saw the need of, authors wanted to put their books on our website and saw a gap in the market. It was kind of created by authors for authors. So it's a really quick and easy program for you where you can get your books up. You can publish them worldwide, and then they also get distributed to our partner stores. So I think the best kind of takeaway for anyone listening to this is when you think of Kobo globally. We've got a huge kind of worldwide resources that we try and take advantage of. So we have people that sell in various different areas, and Kobo Writing Life is a way to do this. So we help people doing this by, you can set your price in 16 currencies. And we also have a lot of promotional opportunities. We actually have this tool within the website itself, where people can apply to be featured in different sales and promotions. So sometimes they're, a box set sale that's in Australia, and sometimes it's like a Canada Day special. So we're kind of weekly updating those.
I've heard a lot of people talk about the global service, the far reach of Kobo. Joanna Penn, for one, I think has talked about using you in some countries or not. How many markets is Kobo distributing to now?
Oh, I mean, on any given day, we sell into 190 countries.
Wow. I didn't know there were 190 countries.
I feel like that's probably all of them.
Wow.
But in terms of our retail stores, so we have about, I think it's 40 to 50 storefronts that are localized. So that just means that where we're merchandising books and we're giving users a local experience. So yeah, that's about 40 stores. And then that's not including our partner site. So that's probably another 20 stores on top of that for different partners.
Now, how do people handle the translation issue? Because all of those countries cannot be English language countries, right?
They can't, but we often see a strong want for English language in different countries. So we have authors that have been very successful with translations. We actually are partnered with this translation company. If anyone's interested, they can, if they click on the services tab, they'll be able to click on translations and go to a company that we think are really great, Literary Plus Translations, which is a good route to go down. But we kind of find as well that we sell English in different areas. So say the Netherlands, for example, is one of our fastest growing geos. And there's because we've got a great partner there, bol.com. And there's a good want for English language titles in the Netherlands. Obviously, Dutch sells the most, but I would still say that these titles still sell.
That's really, I think, going to be one of the breakthrough areas as people talk more and more about wanting to go wide, and the internet gives us the ability to go everywhere. Then having that global reach is going to be very important, I think.
Yeah, and another way of sort of trying to encapsulate upon this global reach is that the biggest project that I was really proud of that I got to announce in September, I think, was that we've just offered direct audiobook upload. So that's something, if a user has an audiobook that's already been created, they can really, really easily publish it within the dashboard itself. And then that will go to our various different audiobook, the retailers that have audiobooks, and to kobo.com as well. So we're just kind of trying to further spread the global reach in terms of different format.
Well, that makes sense since audiobooks seem to be exploding right now.
Yeah, they're hugely popular right now.
I mean, it's on the one hand sort of a niche market, but a niche that seems to be seriously growing.
Yeah.
I constantly see people, not always just kids either, walking around with what looked to me like toothbrushes hanging out of their ears, but actually AirPods. And I always assume they're listening to music, but it might well be audiobooks today, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that like podcasts like this one really lend people to getting used to getting their information hourly. So I mean, personally for me, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and then
Right.
moving into like listening to audiobooks, it's kind of like just the next jump, and it makes sense.
You mentioned that Kobo offers promotional opportunities to authors. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So in our promotions tab, so we still consider this in beta, but only because it's just available in English language. So if you have a Kobo account and you don't see a button that says promotions, just send the team an email at writinglife@kobo.com and we'll switch this on for you. So we have various different promotions that are kind of updated on a weekly basis. So we have daily deals where you can be the main feature on our website. We have a free page that is categorized by genre. So if you have a perma-free book, or if you have just like a free book for a little period, you can apply to be featured in this page. And there's also editors' picks. So the way the promotions work is that some of them have upfront payment, so they can vary from $10 to $100 depending on the popularity of the spot. And then some of them have just an additional COGS reduction. So you would give us an additional 10% off of each sale.
Right.
So if you were getting started with Kobo, I'd recommend using that one. So you're kind of not losing anything. If it doesn't go great, you're not losing any sales and you didn't pay for something up front. So we like being able to give authors both choices.
Sure. Just to be clear, to upload a book at Kobo Writing Life, you're not going to pay a fee up front. You're going to give a percentage of royalties, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's completely free to upload a book, and any book that's priced over $2.99, you earn 70% on royalties. And we have no upper pricing cap, which can be really good for box sets for books. Kobo readers really love box sets. So I would just say, you don't have to be afraid of pricing a little bit higher, because you're still going to get 70% off of each sale. And in addition to that, we do like 6 to 8 box set promotions a year. Those can be found in the promo tool, where we kind of do like a 40% off box set sale. And those are always our most popular, and we see them, they kind of get a real boost for authors.
What kind of feedback do you give the authors? You must have some kind of sales analytics or information.
It's all available on their dashboard. So the dashboard is within their account, and it's kind of easy to see the sales. We have this little global map that we like asking people to share. It's hashtag KWL map, where you see your little dots where your sales are growing, and the bubbles get bigger the bigger the sales you get. So it's a really great way to kind of visualize the global reach. I think we had somebody tweet at us recently that they were like, really amused that somebody in Fiji had bought their book, but they were like, okay, go find a beach and read it. I'm jealous and happy.
Yeah, invite me out.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. That's really amazing to realize that your books could be going everywhere. And even if they are just in English, English readers are going to be everywhere. And now they can get your books.
Yeah. And then another avenue that authors can go to as well is libraries. People kind of sometimes forget about library readers.
Right.
But through Kobo, you can send your book to Overdrive. And Overdrive are also owned by Rakuten. They're one of our sister companies. So you can opt your book into Overdrive distribution really easily by just setting a library price. And then it's available for librarians to purchase all around the world. And we're seeing authors report a big bump in library sales, like into their monthly income. Yeah. Given that they're our sister company, we do different promotions with them. So we're always trying to find areas where we can kind of promote different Kobo Writing Life books, especially to the libraries as well.
Well, that makes sense. I love libraries, and in the pre-digital age, that's where you would predominantly get audiobooks, unless you had an enormous amount of money. Of course, I come from the era when my first books were recorded on cassette tapes, so
Yeah.
you see, I have a different perspective on these things. You said that authors can set their own price. Is that right, on those
Yeah.
audiobooks, which obviously, to make an obvious point, is a